The posture is extremely important to get your body prepared to move. I'm going to teach you a new drill this time, and this is what I call the posture stick versus the posture drill. When you set up, we want to make sure that your spine is not in what we would call an S spine, where you get this low back arched here. We want to make sure that your back is not C spine. C spine is common. You can see I've got a C around my body. That is the most common because that's what our lifestyle chooses. We are working on the computer, we're driving a car. We've got to get our shoulder blades back. And this drill is the best one for that. What you're gonna do is you're gonna stand up straight with your feet about shoulder width apart. You want your nose and ear level, and you're just gonna take this club and pinch it right with your left hand against your chest. Now, you can tell that I have no gaps here, so we don't wanna stand up here rounded. We wanna really get our neck back. From here, we're gonna add just a tiny bit of knee flex, and our right hand is going to sit on our thigh, and as we bend over, we're just gonna bend over till we touch the top part of our knees. From there, the club goes in front of you. We're gonna measure the distance. Our arms are hanging down, and as you can tell, this line from the back of my shoulder should run through the tip of my knees and into the balls of my feet. That's where I know that I'm in a good athletic position. Let's do that again. So again, nose and ear level. As I bend over, be very careful here that you're not straightening your knees. You're also not adding knee flex. Also pay attention that as you bend over, you're not creating gaps in here. So it's here, bend over, measure it, and you are in a perfect posture. At this point, I want you to pay attention to that. Every 3 or 4 balls on the range, just do that one time. And that will help you ensure that you are getting in the proper posture. Now, also with posture, we need to discuss our hip position. This is critical. This is one area that will fight or combat the #1 cause of low back injury in golfers, and that is the reverse C. Now, as we set up here, my belt line, most people set up with their right hip high. When they do that, it's very difficult to get behind the ball. So what we have to do is we have to take our hands and place them on our hips just like this, and we slightly lower our right hip. It's gonna feel as though we are kicking our left hip towards the target, but we're just getting that hip that way. It's important. A lot of times it's difficult to see your belt line, so you need someone to help you. But this is the key. Put both hands here, put your hip there, lower it right there. Make sure your weight's 50-50. That's what we want. A lot of times I'll see people really try to do it and they'll get this motion and say, hey, CJ, my right hip's low. How do I look? It's a little bit overdone. You've left the turkey in a little too long. So it's just a little bit right there. Lower that right hip. Make sure your weight's 50-50. Okay, it almost, like I said, will feel like you're kicking that right knee in just a little bit. And from there, you're set. You are set to get your body to move in the proper position. A great drill on how the body works is just to go ahead and place your hands on your hips, lower that right hip, and then turn over your right shoulder and look at something behind you. As you do that, my body created the perfect motion. It turned exactly the way it should be in the golf swing. Very rarely do I see people go that. That would be what we call a reverse pivot, where their weight goes this way. Everyone turns over the right shoulder pretty much the same way. You can notice that my right hip, my right butt cheek will turn back. I haven't slid that way. So if you can understand the posture, and if we can get into the right setup with our spine in proper position, our hip in proper position, the body motion is easy to perform. When it's this way, you can see that I'm gonna have to do a lot of movement to get in that proper position. So understand, this little bit with your hip, if it's off, you're prone to more back injury and your body motion's not gonna be good. You're gonna dump the lag, which means losing the wrist angle, which means you'll hit it shorter and hit it more inconsistency. So your posture and your hip position is crucial to playing better golf.